In this video, we will learn about how to start with complex numbers and learning about its basics. Any complex number can be expressed in the form of a plus ib, where a and b are the real numbers and I is the imaginary unit satisfying the equation I square is equal to minus 1. A is the real part and b is the imaginary part of the complex number. Mr. Pushpendra Kumar Shukla from Puran Chandra Vidya Niketan, Kanpur will tell us more about this topic.
Before the complex number, we must study the concept of iota, means I over here. For the example, in classes you have seen there is a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, and when you will find out discriminant, so this is b square minus 4ac. If d is greater than 0, roots are, you will say roots are real and unequal. If d is greater than 0, d is equals to 0, roots are real and equal. If d is less than 0, so in that condition you have said that because d is a negative number, we can't find out its square root, and you have leave out the things as it is. But now we can find out the square root of a negative number. For the example, you have to find out the square root of under root of minus 4. So we can write down it in this form. This is minus 1 into 4, and this is under root of minus 1 into 4, under root 4. And this under root 4 is 2, and this under root minus 1 is basically iota, that is your I. So you can see over here I is equals to under root of minus 1. So in this case I square is equals to minus 1. Similarly, this I cube becomes your minus I, and I4 is equals to 1. So you must keep these things in your mind for the complex number. So this is your I under root minus 1, and one more important thing I want to tell you over here, for this step to this step, it is compulsory condition one of the number must be a positive number. We will study the complex number. Earlier we have studied the concept of iota over here. For the complex number, it is always represented by z, and this is equals to a plus ib. I have told you earlier that's iota, and this complex number is made up of two parts. The one is the real part, and second this portion which is the coefficient of I over here, that is known as imaginary part. So in this case the real part of z is equals to a, and imaginary part of z is equals to b. And the next thing you have to find out the modulus of z. Modulus of z is represented in this form, and this is under root of a square plus b square, and after that there is a argument of z, that is b by a, or you can write down imaginary part of z upon real part of z. So these are the different part of the complex numbers over here. And the next thing you have to study, that is a conjugate of a complex number, that is conjugate of a complex number, that is represented by z bar. It's mean this is your a minus ib, means the sign of this number would be changed over here, and the case of conjugate and the number, the modulus will remain unchanged, and both the condition will remain as it is.
When the discriminant is less than 0, the number which we get is a negative number and thus forms the imaginary part of a complex number. Few denominations of iota to keep in mind. Iota is equal to root of minus 1. Iota square is equal to minus 1. Iota cube is equal to minus iota. Iota raised to the power 4 is equal to iota. A complex number is represented by z is equal to a plus iota b, where real part of z is equal to a and imaginary part of z is equal to b. The modulus of z, z mod, is equal to root of a square plus b square. The argument of z, arg z, is equal to b upon a, which is equal to imaginary part of z upon real part of z. The conjugate of z, z bar, is equal to a minus iota b, and also mod of z bar is equal to mod of z.
For more such videos, log on to CBSE section of jagranjosh.com.